I live in the South United States. I grew up on a farm. We had pigs, goats, chickens, cows, turkeys that I fucking hate. Because turkeys are the devil incarnate on two legs with feathers. Fuck some turkeys. Pheasants, rabbits that I would name and my dad would eat. All kinds of shit. But we also, when I was smaller, and before I was born even, we used to breed Cocker Spaniels. We were not a puppy mill. All the dogs, I feel like I've talked about this before. I've talked about this recently to someone. It may have been this. I don't fucking know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We used to raise Cocker Spaniels. And so I've dealt with dogs and death and all of that shit. But nothing could have prepared me for Tuesday except the last 8 fucking months. So the first dog that he and I have ever adopted, she would be 13 in February, this coming February. I came home from work one day last April, and she was like stumbling around like she was completely fucking lost. And I thought she had a stroke, and apparently, and this I guess had been like an age thing, we just hadn't noticed, she was part Cocker Spaniel, which is the reason I adopted her from the Humane Society. She's Boston Terrier Cocker Spaniel halfsy. And her name was Spunky in the little cage at the Humane Society. So when we went up there and I saw her and I saw her face and I saw that Cocker Spaniel look, which, made me think of, my younger years when we used to raise them. I was like, that's the one I want. And John was like, no, the dog's too wild. And that was like September 2011. It's like a month later, they had barbecue fest downtown, which they do every year. It sounds like it's fancy, but it's not. It's really kind of dumb. But anyway, the Humane Society had a table set up, or like a booth or whatever, right there on the corner of like, right in the middle of the festival. So like, when you get to our downtown area, there's a cross street, and then it becomes one way. Actually, no, the one way starts a little further back, but like the downtown area, the historic downtown, etc. There's like a cross street. You go, now they put in a speed table, woo! And then there's a light. And then there's like another speed table and another light, and then you're like out of it. It's like 2 long blocks. If you've ever been to New York, you know what a long block is. Anyway, so they were on the corner at that cross street, and they had that dog there. And this was a Saturday. And that Monday, I went and brought that fucking dog home. And I've had that dog since October 4th, 2011. She was about 8 months old at the time. She was an owner surrender. She and her 2 brothers, because they had a Boston Terrier and a Cocker Spaniel that they had not had fixed, or neglected to fix, I guess. And they were old. And they were like, we have puppies. So apparently her 2 brothers got adopted. Like, I mean, they kept them long enough to let them be weaned. They kept them until they were like 2 months old, at least. But the brothers got adopted immediately, and this little bitch was wild as fuck. Like, she could climb chain link fence, no problem. No problem. You can't put one of those in her way. She could jump. Out at the farm, we've got part of the house. We've got like a brick wall that's like 4.5 feet tall. She just jump on top of it and walk over. It's just whatever. She wanted over it. She's over it. Nothing could hold her in except our wooden fence. So no, we've had that dog for years. We've taken her all over. Everybody loved that fucking dog. As soon as we got her home, she quit being Spunky and she became Nershie, named after Bill Nershie from, he's a guitar player for String Cheese Incident. He plays in the Emmett Nershie band. He's Bill fucking Nershie, if you don't know who that is, and look him up, I guess, if you care. Anyway, I've had that dog for years. Oldest, sweetest, best dog. She was a festy doggy, and we used to go to a lot of music festivals. I think the most we went to in one year was like 12. Which I know there are people who go, like, their entire life is music festivals, but 12 in 1 year is a lot for people who have dogs in a home and, like, jobs and shit. But we used to have a blast. We used to have an RV. It was a little 27-foot Winnebago. I think we paid like $6,000 for it. It was great. Anyway, we had AC. We were the ones who had the popsicles, and we were the ones who brought the kegs of beer to the festival, because we built like a CO2 pumped kegerator that was like portable, and we could take it outside and stuff. So we used to like, you know, have beers for donations. Anyway, if you ever do something like that, I would not suggest popping the higher percentage IPA keg first. Bad idea. Bad idea. But we were there for a week, so we were like, fuck it, this thing will be gone. And it was. It got gone, but... Anyway. In the middle of summer, IPAs... I mean, IPA is my beer, but, like... Sometimes you just need, like, a light drink. Like, whatever the fuck this whiskey drink is. I think it's a Toronto. I don't... Fuck, Anyway. We were at a festival one time with this dog. And it was the 4th of July weekend festival we used to have every year that we used to go to all the time. Like, we had our reserved spot that was just there every year, that we paid for every year. And they're like, you want the same spot as last year? Fuck yeah, dude. I want to be in my same little fucking, yeah, my row of people. Yeah, we all had the same spots. So anyway, 4th of July weekend. And of course, people were like popping off bottle rockets and shit all weekend. So we thought she was inside the RV. And she wasn't. We didn't know that. We didn't realize that. Because she's just the chillest fucking dog ever. So we get to looking for her. And I had like followed behind the RV. So it was a C-Class, I think. So, anyway. So he drove that. And I drove the truck behind. With like all the firewood and shit in it. Dog is nowhere to be found. Couldn't find her. So we're like, fuck. So we like, it was like up in the mountains of Arkansas. Like in the middle of fucking goddamn nowhere. It's like at least 50 miles from any even like unincorporated community. So off we go looking for this damn dog. We get in the truck, we leave the campground, we drive up and down that damn mountain, up and down the road looking every goddamn where for this 30-pound fucking dog. We get back, couldn't find her. We had friends at the campsite too, because everybody just camped at our spot because we had the Winnebago and they just rolled up and pitched their tents. I decided we should go back to the campground because while I'm like riding in the truck and like, you know, trying to figure out where this fucking dog is, I get on Instagram and hashtag that festival, hashtag festy dog, hashtag there's my fucking dog. Now I just gotta find this white dude with dreads. You know how many white dudes with dreads are at a festival in Arkansas? All of them. So I was like, she's on the campground. She was 27 minutes ago, whatever. So she's not out here. So we go back to the campground. We park. And here this bitch comes. She had just gone for a little swimmy swim in the fucking river. By herself. Just to get away from the fireworks. And that was the day I knew to never worry about that damn dog again. She'll always come home. Except now she's not. Because we had to put her down Tuesday. She had those strokes. She went blind. She keeps getting attacked by other dogs. She was not living anymore. Mostly just existing. Like in the same space as us. She wouldn't even like come to bed anymore. She just wanted to sleep on the cold tile in the kitchen next to her water fountain because she can hear it. So she could get a drink whenever she wanted to. If I separated her from the bigger dogs while we were on to work, half the time she would like soil herself and then like walk through it because she couldn't see it. So I was giving her a bath like every other fucking day that I had to do that. I would come home to a shitastrophe in whatever room I enclosed her in, which was usually the hallway bathroom because it's tile and it's easy to clean, but anyway, I've been ready for a long time to put that dog down. So although it fucked me up Tuesday, I had to be the strong one because John was a fucking puddle. And I am thankful that when they administered the final dose, because they give them a sedative first to like knock them out into the best sleep of their life. When they give them the final shot, they say sometimes, I've never had to actually put a dog down, or I've never witnessed a dog being put down like that. I just was never there for it, because with our Cocker Spaniels, like I said, we had them forever. I just never went for any of that, I guess. I'm just thankful that she did not have any, like, of the after, like, the muscle spasm movement shit, or, like, vocalize anything, because they say sometimes they'll, like, sigh, or yelp, even though they're not really there. It's just like death coming out. I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, she went very peacefully, and I'm thankful for that. But during all of that, and before all of that, let me tell you another crazy fucking story. Like I said, we used to go to music festivals all the time. I've made friends with many, many people, coast to fucking coast. But many, many, many of our festy friends come from the other side of our state. So, like, Northwest Arkansas, there's a little town called Eureka Springs. I think some people refer to it as, like, Little Switzerland or whatever. It's just stupid place. It's like, they're only open, like, half the year. They got a couple haunted hotels, and they got, like, a big cat sanctuary. Like, there's nothing fancy about Eureka Springs, and honestly, I don't like it. It sucks. But anyway. Many people that we know love that place. It is a, like, wedding destination place for people around here. For whatever reason. Now, my cousin did get married there. He's not even from here. They're from, like, St. Francisville area, Louisiana. But when he was a little kid, his parents took him to, his mom is my grandma's sister. So, like, his parents took him to, this place called Thorn Crown Chapel, which is, like, this glass chapel out in the woods, and he, like, fell in love with it, and he decided if he ever got married, he was going to get married there. So, he went to school at, the Savannah College of Art and Design, SCAD, there in Savannah, Georgia, and he met this woman. I'm going on an offshoot here that I don't even know where the fuck it came from. Probably from the whiskey. That's where it came from. Anyway, he went to art school there, and met this woman from Taiwan. Now, for those of you who don't know, I don't know, like, all the specifics of the situation. I just know that since the U.S. and China get along, we don't recognize Taiwan, like, as a country. Like, the state of the U.S. does not recognize Taiwan as Taiwan's independence, I guess. Something like that. So when I was, like, 14, my cousin got married to this woman from Taiwan. Her name was, yeah, fuck it, she's never gonna say this, I'll tell you. Her name was Yating. And I met her family only one time. It was at the wedding at Thorn Crown Chapel. She had a sister, an older sister named Ya Ping, and a younger sister named Ya Long. And I was told, I don't speak Taiwanese. I don't fucking know if this is true or not. This is what I was told. Ya Ping, Ya Ting, and Ya Long means elegant 1, elegant 2, and elegant 3. Whatever. You do you, Taiwan. Anyway, so my cousin married this woman. And they seemed happy. She didn't speak English very well, but, like, well enough to, like, communicate with us and everything. Like, I didn't have problems. So, my cousin's dad died when I was in kindergarten. He had a brain aneurysm. And it was his, like, senior year of high school. And so he inherited, because he was an only child. If I remember all of this correctly, I was a kid when all this shit happened. And I, like, the stuff I'm about to tell you about happened when I was an adult. But I'm trying to, like, remember what happened when I was, like, 5. And, like, I may not remember correctly, but it doesn't fucking matter. It's a story. So he inherited a bunch of land that his father owned down around, not in St. Francisville proper, Louisiana, but, like, around that area. So he built a house. Yating was so short that, like, they didn't have any upper cabinets in the house. All the cabinets in the kitchen were, like, on the bottom, like, lower cabinets. They had 2 kids. So every other summer, Yating would take the 2 kids. And I'm gonna be honest with you right now. I don't even remember what those kids' names are. It's been so long. I don't even remember what their names are. This is so fucked up. This is how fucked up the story is. It's about to get more fucked up. So every other summer, they had an agreement that Yating would go home for, like, a month or 3 and visit our family and take the kids, whatever. So one summer she went, and she came back, and then she decided she wanted to go the very next summer, right? You see where this is going? So she went. He hadn't seen his kids since. it's been like, well, longer than I've been with John, so a good at least 13 years. He hasn't seen his kids. He's already remarried. He married, and I love her to death. I love her to death. She's great. He remarried another woman from overseas. This one's from Ukraine, and I love her to death. She's from Ukraine. She's got this little white Pomeranian. His name is Dominique. I love him. He's the sweetest fucking dog. And she will beat your fucking ass at Cards Against Humanity. She's got that like that dark, like pseudo-Russian, like Ukrainian. It's probably not the greatest thing to say with the current state of things, but like she's that good dark humor, you know. Like, I love her to death. But he's in his late 40s and she's younger than I am, so I know I love her to death. I was actually told by my grandmother, who is the sister of his mom, the grandmother I talked about in the last video, before all of that happened to her, that she came from like such a tiny village in Ukraine that like they would wear the same clothes like all week because they only did laundry once a week and they didn't have a lot of clothes. And like, oh, now you gotta pee? Is it the whiskey? Hair on it, you know. So like this new, like, living in America and like having a washing machine in your fucking house instead of having to like go literally down to the fucking river to wash your clothes is like all very new to her. But they've been married for a few years now and I love her to death. But the problem with the previous wife and the children is, although he was granted a full divorce and granted custody of his children in the United States, since the United States does not recognize Taiwan's, I guess, sovereignty, the custody granted custody for kids that you didn't know were going to be ripped from you is not enforceable because of the United States' feelings toward Taiwan. So my cousin, unless those kids grow up and are like, hey, I want to see or know my dad, is probably never going to see his fucking kids again. Our family is never going to see those kids again. And it's like the most fucked up, like, arrangement ever. Like, why do we have to have like wars and like disagreements? Like we're all human. We're all here for like 70, 80, 100 years. And then we're all going to die. And you're telling me in like my 70, 80 years time span that I only got to meet my little cousins, like, because they didn't live in the state, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. And I'm never going to see them again. They have no idea who I am because of politics. Sorry about like stuffy headed because it's shitty outside and this is Arkansas. They say we're going to get an inch of snow tomorrow, but I don't see it happening. I wish it would though, because I kind of don't want to go to work. Anyway, I don't know how I went so far down that little tangent, but back to the whole dog situation. So, I have some friends who live on the other side of the state, Eureka Springs. Oh, Eureka Springs led me to Thorn Crown Chapel, led me to the yachting story. Now we're back to Eureka Springs. Tell me a minute. So my friends who live in Eureka Springs that we met at the music festivals we used to go to, allowed some dude they know or like are acquainted with to like come stay with them for a few days to try to get back on his feet, whatnot. And over this past, I guess, weekend, for New Year's, they went out of town for a New Year's show, concert somewhere. And the dude that they were letting stay with them stole their dog. But he not only stole their dog, they thought the dog had jumped the fence. There were possible sightings of the dog. They were looking all over the area. It's in the middle of the Ozarks. You know, they didn't know where the fuck this dog was. They had people all over. They closed down. They own a food truck, and they like closed it down for several days to look for this fucking dog. The food truck is literally named after the dog, and she's chipped and everything. So I don't live over there, but I was like sharing the posts for like all my friends who live over there who may not be friends with them, which I think we're all friends, so it really didn't fucking matter what I was doing. My efforts were fruitless. But they've been looking for this fucking dog for fucking ever. And the dude that was staying with them, when they came home, they found out he was gone. Somebody that they are friends with spotted their dog with that dude in a vehicle. And they somehow, some fucking how, I don't know if someone in North Carolina knows them both and saw them together or what. This dude took their dog, drove it over 1,100 miles to North Carolina, almost to the fucking coast. To Tarboro, North Carolina. Tarboro. I don't know how to say it. Tarboro. I don't know. Took their dog all the way over there. Gets into a fucking car accident. The dog is thrown through the fucking windshield. And runs off. Which I've seen posts about dogs being involved in wrecks before, but dog took off. By the grace of fucking God, if you believe in that. I'm an atheist, I don't, but by the grace of God, somehow, some way, after they focused their efforts on North Carolina, that dog was spotted inside the fence of a Sara Lee factory there in Tarboro, North Carolina. Tarboro, T-Town. We're going to call it T-Town because I don't know how to say it. Anyway, that dog was spotted. The security guards were feeding it. The security guards posted it as a found dog they could not catch. And some fucking how, I guess maybe somebody saw the dog with the dude in North Carolina and the owners knew and just happened upon the found post. I don't know the logistics of it, but that dog was found. To the point that they tried to catch it. They had a group of like five different people from the animal control there in that town out there trying to catch the dog, but because she was injured from being thrown through a fucking windshield, they couldn't catch her. So the security guards been feeding her. My friends flew to North Carolina. They flew into Raleigh yesterday, and it was like an hour drive from there toward the coast. Got a rental car, drove over there. Left a dirty shirt out, left the dog's favorite treats, because they were like, well, they gave her chicken and some biscuits tonight, so she's probably bedded down somewhere. First thing I looked at this morning, when I got up this morning, I got on Facebook, and I searched my friend's name, and I was like, did you find your fucking dog yet? And it had been 6 minutes since she'd found that dog. She had literally had that dog in her arms for like 6 fucking minutes. I would be lying if I said I didn't boo-hoo at my fucking desk. I've never even met this fucking dog. I just know these people. Like, I used to watch Walking Dead. I kind of quit when, like, Rick died. I don't give a fuck anymore. Are they still playing that show? I don't care anyway. But y'all remember Lucille, the fucking bat wrapped in barbed wire? Let me find the motherfucker that steals my dog. Let me find you. Because I swear to God, if I open my home to you and I try to help you out and you steal my fucking dog, it's the last goddamn thing you're gonna fucking remember. But that video of them being reunited was just... because that dog would not let anyone approach. She even, like, FaceTimed and, like, was talking to the dog. The dog would look at the phone with the rescuers. They could get close enough that it could hear her voice. But it would not let them get her. Because it was terrified because it got thrown through a goddamn windshield. Like, I swear to God. You steal my fucking fur child like that? I'm coming for you. Never heard what happened to the dude who was in a car accident. Hopefully he's dying in a hospital because, you know what? If you don't act that way, and I don't say that without some weight behind it. When they figured out that dude took the dog, apparently a couple more stories about this dude came out, and they didn't know these when they let him come in their house. But apparently he had also SA'd a couple of people, like, in the fullest way. So, you know what? I don't know if y'all ever watched Shameless, but he shares the name with the dad. And I'm going to say this toward Shameless and say it toward him. Fuck you, Frank. Yeah. That's why I don't let people come to my fucking house anymore. Even like lately around Jonesboro, I've heard that people are stealing dogs out of backyards to use them as bait dogs for dog fighting. And I'm like, no, I don't care if you shit in the floor if I don't come home for lunch in the day. I don't care. I'm not letting you be a dog fight bait dog. I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. Anyway, I finished my whiskey, and I've talked for nearly half an hour. I'm done.